Good afternoon. Today is April 9th, 2024, and my name is David Pyle, and I'm interviewing Sergeant First Class Edwin Beck, retired, U.S. Army retired, and we have the great privilege today to interview Sergeant Beck, Sergeant First Class Beck, and I really look forward to hearing that. So thanks very much for coming in today and taking time to do that.
My pleasure.
This is great, truly. So if you would you tell us a little about your early years, your childhood, where you were born?
Well, I was born in Annville, Pennsylvania, which is south and east of Harrisburg, and it's close to Indian Tongue Military Reservation. And born in February 8, 1925, and in the little city down there, and then finally they moved back down to Lebanon, and then back in later on I get back to in the country in little just like a little village, and where I went to the church there in Fontana, and that's where I went to school had the same teacher for 7 years. Because it was a one-room schoolhouse, you know.
Is that right?
And one teacher taught all your grades. When you walked in the door, you seen first grade, second, third, fourth, and so I spent 7 years with the same teacher, and my brother and my sister also was in there, and then I went to Hershey High School, then rode the streetcar. I had about a mile to walk and get on the streetcar and ride to Hershey 12 miles up the road. And finally graduated from there. And then the war come up in December the 7th. And everybody, I wanted to join the Army, and I was only 17. And my mother said no. But I finally had to get into it when I was 18 then. And when my basic training was in Cape Wheeler, Georgia. And it's Robbins Air Force Base now.
Okay.
So I spent my time there, and then we got orders, and I joined we went by train all the way to California, and seen the ocean and everything there. And then finally, they transferred me into Indian Tongue, or not the Indian Tongue, but into Indiana there. And I was in the 106th Infantry Division. They formed it, and I joined that, and I was in the 422nd Regiment. So finally flew from there up into Alaska, and from Alaska over to Japan, for the Korean War then.
Well,
So two different wars, but when I got out of the Army, I went back to school and then back into the Army. But that was 1943 when I was and then 44 and 45, and finally I ended up with the 106th Infantry Division and went to Korea.
So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. We
Yeah.
want to talk about your World War II experience.
World War II, I got
So let me ask you this: when were you shipped overseas then to Europe?
1944.
Okay.
Because I was I got went over there in December, and I landed in France, and they shipped us up into the northern part, and I went into the Ardennes forest. And that's where I was with the outfit when we finally got captured in there. But I don't know. I just wonder why I'm still here. But anyway, from there, I went to, when we got captured, we walked for 5 days. We figured we walked 150 miles anyway. And when I got in there, well, then this guy interrogated me again. And he saw my name was Beck. And there was a General, Ludwig Beck was a German general. And he conspired to kill Hitler.
Oh, really? Okay.
Anyhow, they had an attaché case, and they had its plastics and everything, and they set it down alongside where Hitler was supposed to sit. And some colonel didn't know about this, and he said moved it over, and to kill him instead of
Instead of Hitler.
yeah.
No, whatever. I've
Yeah.
read about that event for
Yeah.
sure. I wanted to ask you before we back up, if we can back up a little bit. I mean, you must have, what, you're 18, 19 years old at the time?
Yes.
So you went to over to Europe, to France,
Yes.
in 1943, 44.
44.
So you must you were just a fresh recruit. You had just finished your.
Well, when I got captured, it was from December. I was about a year in the army, and
Okay. And because the Battle of the Bulge started, I think, in December 44, right? Is that
Yes.
what it was?
16 December.
Yeah, exactly. So you had only been in country then for how long, maybe?
And I got to, finally got captured on the 19th. We hit different places anyhow, and there's only about 30 or 40 of us out of 240. And it was the captain, and we met up with a lieutenant with his about 12 men, and he had jeeps. We didn't have any jeeps, we were all walking in. And the captain outranked the lieutenant, so he said, we were gonna go down such and such a place. We got on the road and we're going down, and the captain and the lieutenant was in that first jeep. Well, when they got down to the edge of the road, the Germans sitting there with bazooka. They killed the captain in there. So there was only a sergeant and about 20 of us then. And we didn't know where to go. Anyhow, the guy says, well, we're going to get the hell out of here. About that time, the Germans were in the woods. We were out in the road. And he said, throw down your weapons. We were surrounded, like the major told us a week before, they had gone through our lines behind us, you know. And so he said, throw down your weapons. And I said, I ain't gonna throw mine down. And the sergeant said, you better throw that. I said, well, and I asked if he had a compass. And I said, give me your compass, because I was gonna take off. And he said, no, I know what the hell you're gonna do. So about that time, we were surrounded, we had to throw our weapons down, and then we started walking. And nighttime, we ended up in the one fort there, anyhow, and we lay down in the snow sleep.
So,
I can remember getting letters from one of the guys with me. He said, remember waking up covered with snow? I said, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there were just horrific weather conditions at that time, right?
It was December 1940 and 45 was the worst they had in 50 years, said. That's what I was told anyhow.
Yeah, there was so much, I mean, guys were frozen and frostbite and all that.
Nothing to eat.
Yeah. You know, well,
Yeah.
let me, again, backing up a little bit, you said out of your company of 240 or 220, whatever.
There's only about 20 of us there that got
that
captured.
survived, that got
Yes.
captured. What happened to the rest of your company?
We never had, well, a lot of them were dead, of course. But I don't know if the general got killed or not, but it,
So you got separated from your
oh,
unit,
yeah.
then, is what
Yeah,
it was.
they split us all apart. They hid it from us all around.
Well, it seems that the Germans sort of, when they had a kind of a, I don't know about a blitzkrieg, whatever, but they had an offensive there for sure that,
Yeah.
that was succeeding initially, in the first part of that campaign there, at the Bulge, whatever. And,
Yeah.
So again, this was around the 16th, and you say that you were captured around
On the 19th,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly. God.
Yeah, we
So-
tried to get around and fight in different places.
No.
And I remember these just says, well, this is it. Then when they finally got into the one post there, that's when they were interrogate you, and if you had a thing that they wanted to take it away from you.
Right. Tell me about you so did you have combat before this whole thing, or?
Well, we had been in small little skirmishes,
Sure.
and then that's when Hitler said you're going through there, and they just drove right through, and we were cut off from rest of them.
And that's there you go. How you got captured.
And then you get every day was feelings. Yeah.
So, what about in terms of the kind of interrogations that you went through? How was?
Oh, they one group would interrogate and the other group was in there, and they all could speak perfect English. They did talk English, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember reading about that as well.
Yeah,
Like,
and they just ask you different questions, and in the one place where I was, they interrogate me, and he says this officer stood up, and all I could see was that pistol on his side, and he says, "You're German." That's my name.
right.
I said, "No, I'm an American soldier." The name, rank, serial number. So finally, the officer says, "I didn't tell him nothing. I didn't know nothing anyhow." But anyhow, he says, "Get him the hell out of here." So they took me back with the rest of the group, and there was 45 Americans there.
Yeah.
And in the one group, they finally moved to another place, and there's a whole platoon of Russian troops captured. They were prisoners there, and we had about 5 Englishmen. I think one was a captain. I'm not sure anymore, but and they interrogate you, and you're not supposed to tell them nothing because I said I don't know nothing because I only had a year in the army.
Right. You were still what, a private or private?
Yeah, I was a PFC, private first class.
Right.
Yeah.
So you didn't have access to a lot of information.
No,
about
well,
that.
they tried to tell you much as you could, but I try to remember names, and I can remember it was Raymond J. Johnson and Will Cooster and myself, and we sang for the company because we were a trio, and we all three were great, so we called the Three Specs. So, and we used to sing for the company, and the one other company, the captain heard us singing and everything, and he wanted us, and the captain we were with, he said, "Forget it, we're staying here." Yes. But I always loved to sing, and I just sang in trios and quartets and stuff.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So again, let's go back to your capture then. Well, first, you were an infantryman.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And you carried a BAR.
On my rifle.
Yeah, that was a pretty large weapon, was it not?
27 pounds, I remember.
Yeah, lugging those things around, that must have been
Yeah.
incredible to have to
you had the biopods on it, you know.
Right, right.
And it always seemed like when the lightest guy in the outfit always got the heaviest weapon. I don't know why, but maybe because. But if you were burning over them by a rifleman, your life wasn't much because they tried to kill you, I believe.
Right.
Yeah,
Sure.
I remember that. But it's sometimes it's hard to talk about because I lost so many people in all these years. And he just says that I can still hear him say, he pointed at me and said, "You're a German. That's not an American soldier." And I probably that he's crying all the time anyhow. But I would never forget that. But I wanted to kill that. That's one guy I wanted to kill. I wanted to jump across his desk and grab him, you know. But the guards behind me,
Sure.
I wouldn't be here.
I'm sure of that.
But then I found out later why, because that German general named Ludwig Beck, because he conspired to kill Hitler, like they put that satchel down to blow him up, and they found out that colonel was behind it. When they went to pick him up, the Gestapo went to pick him up. He says, "I want to go in and say goodbye to my wife and children." He said, "Okay." So he goes in there and he opens the death door and takes the pistol out and shoots himself in the head.
Sure.
And he wasn't quite dead, so one of the Gestapo guards finished him off.
Yeah, that's
Anyhow,
amazing. So, as after you were captured, then you had. How long did it take you to finally get to where the concentration camp?
well, I remember we walked for 5 days,
Yeah.
and then finally got on boxcars, and they locked us up in there, and the train was pulled out. The next day, the British come over and bombed the tracks. So they took us out of the boxcars, and we walked then, and we finally got up to in the Limburg, and there was a fort there. I can't think of Stalag 413,
Okay.
Limburg, and we spent one night in there, and it was so filled up that they captured all the prisoners, and you laid out in the ground. And then the next day we walked again, and we finally got up into through Frankfurt. I remember seeing the signs of Frankfurt and so forth. And we finally they got us on boxcars again, and when we jumped out, why we was in the other camp there, and anyway, the guy in the boxcar in front of us, one guy had that been so packed in, then he had died standing up, and when everybody started falling out, he finally fell over. So
Sure.
it's
Tell me about those forced marches. What was that like? Did they feed you? Were there any kind of breaks along the way?
we didn't have. The only thing I was lucky, I had my canteen, so I had water. And the guy said, "Give me a drink." So I could get in my canteen, and he said, "It's frozen." The water, and he stuck it inside his tent and warmed it up so he could drink. I remember he was something else. He said, "I need a drink, I need a drink." It was frozen. All that water and stuff, the water from the beach just froze.
So this must have been really horrible conditions.
Yeah,
I mean, it was like the weather.
you didn't know what
particularly-
you're going to do with you or anything. Because, I don't know, and then when you get to the Stalag 4B, that's when they said that if you volunteer to be on a work detail, you get better food. You get more to eat,
Yeah.
so they keep you going. So I said, I'll go. So the guy said, you're going? I said, I'm going. So I went, and we went to a stone quarry, and I was breaking rock with them big hammers. But you used to fight to get in the front of the line. They said it had 12-pound and 16-pound hammers. And you try to get a 12-pound hammer.
Right.
And and we'd walk out there, break rock. And I remember that one day, you hear that roaring noise. And you look up, 1,000 B-17s. I ain't kidding you, 1,000 of them at a time. And then the ground would even shake. And I was just where they just shake, and then how we finally, I did get in there, and I said, I'm gonna go home, because one guy, he got a pair of wire clippers. I don't know where he got them, but he said a Russian gave them to him, Russian prisoner. So I got two guys to go with me, because I was going to go by myself. And everybody said, you're crazy. Well, I still am. But he said, you're crazy. They're going to, if you escape, they kill you. I said, I know that. So I figured the day I'm going to go, and a guy named Julius Purcell, he's from Hershey, Pennsylvania, Italian American, speaks Italian. So we had German and Italian and English, and I got a kid from New Jersey named Yankovic. He's Polish. So we had 4 languages. So he said, where are we going to go? I took a day. I said, noontime when the guards are changing, we're out of here. And we just reached this little hole in the fence and got out, get up on the road. Instead of going through the fields, because the German troops are still around, we went on the road. And we stopped the girl on the bicycle because we heard that this one city surrendered and the Americans had taken over. And that's where we were going. We heard the guards talking, you know. He says, anyway, he says, we're going to go. And we're going. And we stopped the girl on the bicycle, and we asked her how far it was, you know. And she said it was so many kilometers, and I said, oh, hell, we won't get to the dark before we get there. And we kept on going. We get up on top of the hill, and there's a German soldier sitting there eating bread or something. He's eating anyhow. His rifle propped up there. He must have been about 65 years old.
Really?
Yeah. And we went up, and I said, let's go ask him. And I said, man, yeah, let's go. And we talked to him. He said, oh, it's only over the hill. You'll be there. He didn't bother. He didn't give a shit anyhow, you know,
Right.
because it was that was in April 44, 45, 45.
Right.
And he didn't give a shit if we were there or not. And we left him, and we got up, and here we were in 4G then. It started on 4G. In old shots.
Okay. So that's incredible, you know, just in terms of what was your day-to-day existence, you know,
Well, you just
going through those kind of, you know,
You-
that forced march that you went through.
Yeah, that's
and,
that.
You know, what did that feel like in a sense? I mean, how were you? Do you remember how kind of feelings you had? I mean, did you feel despair, or
Yeah,
did you have any hope?
Oh yeah, because I was only, well, I was 19 when I got captured in December.
Yeah.
And, so we're still young, you know,
Right.
and and I never want to be a prisoner again, but it's you lose all your, you have nothing to do. You're just like a piece of wood or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So what about the Germans? How did they treat you for the most part?
Well, some of them were pretty good. Some of the guards are pretty good. They talk to you once in a while and
Yeah.
everything, you know.
Yeah.
And there's like I said, when he had interrogated me the last time, and he just said he looked at me and said I was a German, and I said I'm not a German, but I don't know. I just happy to be alive, I guess you might say.
Sure.
You just don't know what from day to day. You can be here today and gone tomorrow.
Right.
And some of the guys they just if you fell down or something, they just stick a bayonet and you let you lay there. That's why some of the guys never made it from that walk.
Well, there certainly could be the brutality like
Yeah.
that, you know. I guess that.
But when he said called me a German, I said I wasn't a German, but I could speak some German. That helped me
Yeah.
in some ways. I could interrogate a little bit, you know.
Sure. Get to
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
A bit.
I said
So once you made your escape, then, and you got to this village, then.
in April the 27th. That's the day I picked it out, and we got down the road, and we went into that city there, and we were in a hospital. There's a big hospital there, and I don't know if you've ever been to Germany, but they have a lot of brick walls, and then they have these big iron gates on them. Well, anyhow, there's a guard on the gate there, and the old police officer said, let's go ask him about where we're going to spend the night. And we talked to him, we opened the gate and said, come on in, it's a hospital. And we got in there, and we got up on top, and the guard was, he had his desk across, he sat behind the corner like there. And I said, we're Americans. And he jumped up out of there and run down the hall, Americans. I said, boy, we better get out of here. And just, what's the wait? And he comes back and he said, the doctor will see you soon.
Which means?
The doctor.
Okay.
And I said, I want to see a doctor. I want something to eat, you know. So anyhow, he sat back in his chair, and the door opened up, and there's an officer there, and he just interrogated, well, they pushed the kid out. His legs were blown off. Must have been about 12 years old, but his leg was going. And they pushed him out of there, and they went in, and we're standing in a row. There's Yankovic, Priscilla, and me. So he talked to old Yankovic first, and he talked about our seat and everything because we were frozen. And he talked to Yankovic, he looked and talked to me. And so he finally says, well, we'll get you something to eat and everything. And they took us upstairs and about the first floor, and they had taken and put all new clean sheets. I took all the people that's out of there, and that's the first bed got to sleep on from the left England. Yeah, clean white sheets and everything, man.
Yeah.
Living in the honey right there.
I hadn't seen anything like that for a while.
That was the first bed they got to sleep in since I left England. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So let's back up for a moment there. When you left England, how did you get over to the Europe then? Where did you land when you came into France?
They took them down to, I can't think of the seaport down in England there, and put us on a ship, and we went over to France. And then we had to get on the air, a lot of these were from a landing truck, but anyhow, you had to jump off the side and walking with water with
Is that right?
friend.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was not D-Day, right? This was
Yeah,
sometime after,
that's
was it?
not D-Day, yeah.
This was after D-Day
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah, yeah. That was what, June 6th. So you went then probably in the fall then, was it?
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't warm yet, it's still cold. Yeah,
So, okay, back to the hospital then. What happened? Were you able to hook up with a unit then? How did that, how'd
well,
you?
when I got out of there, we, like, went down to this, like, we left France, and we moved ourselves up into Belgium, and then, we got into Belgium and went into the German Ardennes forest. And we were up there, got maybe 2 days, and then finally I said, well, they always interrogate you one in the West, outfit you or that. You just don't tell them nothing. And from there I ended up going out in the field, and then we just watched the walk, and my feet had been in a lot of places.
So you didn't have any frostbite or anything?
Yeah, mine were in pretty bad shape because when I got back to the States, and we had 3 different doctors, one tested this and that, and finally the last day I was there, they called me in, and the 3 doctors and I sat around the table, and he said, "We got bad news for you." I said, "Oh, hell." He says, all the blood vessels in your feet are gone. And one doctor, he was older than the others, he says, "Well, let's not be hasty." He says, "I thought they were going to cut them off, you know." He says, "Sometimes blood vessels will lose themselves." So I still got my feet, but they get cold real quick, and then,
I can imagine, sure.
but oh yeah, then you go back and try to remember some of the guys, like Kuster and Yankovic. So then we used to be fairly happy till we got captured. Because then I never got to see him. Went back to the States. I got to see one, and he was in pretty bad shape. He was the older of us.
So
Right, we come back on the voyage on the ship. What's the heck the name of that time thing? We went over on the Aquitania.
okay.
And we come back on a troop ship. And instead of landing up there, we went up there around and landed up in Germany.
So let me ask you that in terms of, after your POW experience, you went back, did you join a unit meaning, and did you then go on in terms of fighting in Europe and Germany? Did you go into Germany?
Got back to the States, and I joined the reserve, so I didn't lose my rank.
Yeah.
And then I went to finished high school, and I went back into the Army.
Okay. So I was just wondering that, in terms of before the end of the war, the last few months of the war, where were you during that time? Because this was 1944. It was 1945 when it.
Yeah, 45. I got back to States in 45 December 45. Yeah.
And do you remember?
And then I did into a unit, and then I finished high school, and then been back in service, and stayed in the Army for 27 years.
Right, that's remarkable too. Well, I was really curious particularly about, not to say that the rest of your career, and I want to cover that as well. But I was interested in knowing what happened, it's like, after the time that you were a POW to the end of the war, there was probably almost, let's see, the Battle of the Bulge ended in January 44, was it?
45.
45, that's right, yeah. And so between January 45 and June 6, 1945, where were you during that time?
I was in a prison camp at that time.
Oh, you were still at a prison camp? Okay. I wasn't quite sure that. So you were repatriated then when the war ended? Okay, I didn't understand that.
Yeah, I could have with like some of the other guys because we were in this one camp there, and they said the war was over and everything. And I said, well, I'm leaving. And I took off, and the three of us, we got back, and we were back eating good American food and everything for a week before the rest of the guys came, because they stayed.
Yeah.
And then they got the Army come in and took them out. But I didn't wait that long.
I can understand that.
I went from about 140 pounds, and I then when they get on the scale between 80 and 85.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Dear God, that's
The
just
Germans didn't feed me very well.
that must have been a really incredibly difficult experience for
Yeah,
you.
it was. And because my name was Beck, and then that screwed me up. Because
Yeah.
it should have been Jones or something like that, I guess.
Well,
I don't know. I survived, and I stayed with the Army. And everybody said, "Why did you stay in after all that?" I said, "Well, I just liked the Army in some ways. I went to a lot of schools. They sent me to different schools. I've been to all kinds of schools in the military.
yeah.
Yeah, they send you one school, another school, and with all the money I went through, I almost have a college education from them.
I'll bet.
Yeah. Of course, they send you. My one captain says, "I'm going to send you down to Washington School." I said, "Where's that?" "Oh man!" And here we go down there, and then we learn about this and learn about that. It was 6 months there, and then they go, one of my guys, when I retired out here, I says, "Well, the only thing you ever went was to school, wasn't it?" I said, "No." I said, "But I learned a lot,
I'm sure.
And the officer said Beck, and he went according to your IQ anyhow. And I had mine was 108 or something like that. So,
Really? Wow.
yeah, so I said, so what I think I'm doing fairly good for what I've been through anyhow.
I can imagine.
But in Germany, when he told me, I thought he was going to kill me right there, man. I saw that pistol, and I thought he was going to reach down and shoot me. And when he said, "Call me a German."
So after World War II then, when that ended, you got out then for a little while?
I finished high school.
Okay.
I went 1 year to high school. I was a junior when I got it, so I went back and finished high school
Okay.
and back into the Army.
So you went, this was right around 49 or so when you went back in?
That's for 40, yeah, 48, 49, yeah.
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 And then there was Korea. So
Yeah.
by this time you were probably an NCO, right?
Oh, yeah. Sergeant Beck, and I go over there, and
What kind of a unit were you with in
I was in
Korea?
the infantry,
You were with the infantry there.
1st Cav Division.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
B Company, 1st Cav.
And how was that experience in Korea for you?
Well, it wasn't too bad for a while until the Catholic and Chinese came in.
Yeah, right.
Because we were moving up. We were just taking, capturing city after city going. And then we got up there, and Chinese came in, and that stopped all that. Because then they said a million Chinese troops, they had a million Chinese troops in there.
Right, right. They had these waves of Chinese, did they not do those kind of attacks?
Oh, they come running at you, and you shoot them, and they're falling down. They just keep more of them. Yeah.
They just kept coming.
Yeah.
Dear God, that must have been an incredible experience, huh?
Yeah. When I was a guest speaker at a school, and this girl, she was about 13 years old. She said, "Did you ever kill anybody?" I said, "What the hell?" I asked a question. And my parents said, "Yeah, but that's not a very good feeling."
I'm sure that.
No, it's not a good feeling. You take somebody else's life. Because that guy didn't get to go home.
Sure.
But we had, when I came out of that one wooded area, I was leading the company out there. I was a sergeant then. And I got out there in this open field, went down the hill in there, and they were so dug in and everything, I didn't know they were there until they popped up and started shooting at me.
Right.
And I just, bang, 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 and that guy went down, and the other jumped up, and I said, 3 times, and I never went over to that first home, but later on, when I was in the hospital, or the guy come back, he said, "You remember that there?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, there's 3 dead ones in that hole," which is said. I said, "What?" Yeah, he says, but I never went over there to see it. But I always thought I was a pretty good shot anyhow. So, Because I had the little carbine and
The M1,
the M1 carbine there.
Right.
I said, bang, bang, back there, 3 shots, and the guy rolled down. And I said, "Hey, 3 times." And then dream, before I knew it, I'm laying in the bed there, and I closed my eyes to sleep. I could see that guy getting up, shooting at me. And then finally, when he told me, he come back. I think God must have sent him, but he came left again. He said, we were at a certain place, and he came down to the hospital to see me. And he says, "There's 3 dead ones in there." Then I was okay then. Because
So
I couldn't understand.
This is where you were wounded then? It was during that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So you got, how many Purple Hearts do you have?
I got the Purple Heart, and I guess you could say I got the 3 Bronze Stars.
Right, I was just looking here. Plus your Bronze Star there, you've got 2 of those?
Yeah. 2 wars.
Yeah.
And then I was going for the 3rd one, and I said, "No."
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that we're going to transfer. I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to retire. I'll retire." So I retired.
Man.
That's when, yeah.
So how old were you when you retired?
Let's see. Gotta go back, man. That's going back there. I retired in 71. So from 25 to 71.
Right.
I was 65 because I had 60. Yeah, because I said I'm going to retire. I said, as the chief there, GS-12, he says, "I know you're old enough," but he says, "I wanted to keep you here." I said, "No." I said, "I'm going to retire." So I retired when I was 65, and I'm tired.
Well, thank you for your service. It was a long career there, 27 years. That's,
Yeah, I saw a lot of people, I saw a lot of deaths, and you just walk, and you die, you wonder why all the guys that are getting killed and you're still alive. I guess your name wasn't on that bullet.
It's just an incredible experience there for sure.
Yeah.
It stays with you. It's hard to let go of that. So you did 27 years. It was primarily in the infantry then?
No, in the last five or 8 years, I went into the missile field.
Really?
Yeah, I was in the Lance 2 Chaparral.
That was that whole period in the 50s, I think, as
Yeah.
I recall. Yeah.
Yeah. Lance 2 Chaparral. And I carried that BAR for a long time, but then I finally got the smaller weapon.
Man.
That's we had the we got the Hercules missile then too.
Right. I remember those Nikes.
Yeah, the Nike outfit. Yeah. It's they're good missile. I had 29 Nike missiles.
Is that right?
I remember I had 3 pits. You had about 7 of them in one pit, and you had that you could fire miles, you know. And I was in charge of 29 of them, and I memorized their serial number. And you had to make a daily check, a weekly check, and a monthly check. And if it didn't come up right, you had to make adjustments.
Right. So you memorized every single number.
I did. But my memory's starting to go now.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
Well,
that's pretty remarkable that you're.
I only got 9 more months, I'd be 100, so.
Yeah. So what do you think was your most vivid memory from your experience there? I'm sure you have a number of them, huh? Anything that really...
The happiest points, I guess, was when I got back from she was talking to my mother and my mother. I think it was in 19... When I retired, I was up in Alaska when I retired, and just come down back to Ridgeville, North Alabama. That's where the headquarters was. And from there, then I got to go home, see my mother and my dad, and everybody was happy and joy. But everybody said my mother was the only one that thought I was going to come home. She said, everybody said, he's going, you never see him again. And when I got home, they said, Mom was there. Yeah.
So were you ever married?
Yeah, I got married. I got married in 61.
Okay.
I was an old man already. I was up in the 30s.
25 to 61, that's
Yeah.
what. So you...
Yeah.
No kids or anything?
Yeah, I got my wife raised 7 of them. That's one sitting right over there.
Is that right? Okay.
That's my youngest son, Daniel.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, he's recording this too, huh?
Yeah.
Well, 7 kids. That's quite a handful there.
Oh yeah, we were going to have one. My mother said something. I said, "But we don't know what's causing it." We keep on sharing. Oh yeah. But my poor wife, she passed away 2 years ago. We were married 27 years.
The career there as well, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's a good long marriage there for you.
Yeah, she's a good woman. She got tired. Well, she had given birth to 7 children. We raised them.
Yeah, that's remarkable to take that kind of responsibility on like that. It's like,
Some people say, "Would you go through all this again?" I said, "For my country, yes." I said, "I'm a soldier, and that's what I raised my right hand to protect this country, and I, I don't know. They wanted me to go to the officer school. I never did go. They said, you're going. I said, I'm not going. But I was supposed to go to OCS, and I probably would have had it better in some ways because I wouldn't have been much out in the ground. But being an officer, it's real different.
Right, it is. That's true. Well, so you'd thought about going to OCS then?
Oh, yeah, I thought about it. It would have, I should have went.
Yeah.
But your buddy said, stay with us, man, you have more fun. Yeah, that's it. And
Probably some truth in that, but not a lot, huh?
yeah, well, you get your buddies, and then you spend 3 or 4 with your one outpatient, and you know them.
Sure.
And I saw a lot of men on that day. Had some good ones, some bad ones.
Yeah.
Had some sergeants that weren't so good. I had some officers that were good. Yeah, I had some that's, oh, well, you just take the bitter with the sweet.
Yeah.
That's what my dad used to say, you take the bitter with the sweet, there's sometimes a lot of bitter.
A lot of beer.
Not too much sweet. Yeah.
That's for damn sure. That's like, well, so do you want to take a break here? How are we holding up here? You want to take a little
Well, I
break?
don't know.
Let's take a minute here. I think that, so let's come back to your service here. You know, the last thing, we're sort of finishing this up now. It's like,
Yeah.
what was the best part of your service experience?
Oh, I guess best part.
It doesn't have to be an event. It's just your experience in terms of the people and, you know.
Well, like I had some good ones and some bad. I had, I remember one lieutenant. I think his name was Groff, Groff. I think his name was. I said, man, I raised hell with him. But because I was the first sergeant of the outfit, and he was just screw up. And you tried to talk to him. He said, "Who's rank here?" He said, "I said I outrank you, because that's what the captain said him one day." He said, "Blah blah blah." He says, "No, Sergeant Beck is the first sergeant in his outfit. He's the king." And that lieutenant didn't. He never didn't. I didn't see him for too much. He never come in my office.
Yeah.
No.
Boy, did you.
Yeah, but he said, "Sergeant outranks you," and he was the first lieutenant.
Right.
He said, "He outranks you." That's right.
Yeah,
So
kids,
the
right.
first sergeant and I take care of the company. And as a captain, he knew what I do, and he could take off and be gone. I mean, everybody does. You know, so yeah, I try to do just like it should be done, because I studied up on everything, and said, well, "You're the first sergeant. You're the first sergeant. You're the chief."
Top.
And but that lieutenant, I know I didn't see him for too much, because he didn't come in the office. He used to come in and start chewing the real, and then when the captain told him, he says, "Sergeant Beck outranks you." He walked out the door, and
Just some 22-year-old, 23-year-old kid, whatever, and
some of them officers are lucky to be 20, 22 years old.
well, I know. But
Yeah,
like,
yeah, 90-day wonders. That's what they call them.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, no, I certainly remember that vividly as well. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, so a lot of them, they didn't know shit. They didn't know that they didn't know shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the problem. It was like, yeah, I remember that. It's like, I had my own run-ins there as well.
Yeah.
This is a young buck sergeant there.
Call them young whippersnappers.
Well, so what about your awards and medals? Let's talk about that. You've got a number of there, you know.
Well, I got
Can you point this out for
I
us,
got
if you
6
would?
battle stars, 3 for World War II, and 3 for Korea.
Is that for each year or something?
That's the main battle. you know, a lot of little battles or something, but one main battle. That's what they got the stars for them.
Well,
They got the one for the Battle of the Bulge and the other ones, yeah. Oh well, it's like I said, I've seen a lot of these things in my day, and I still wonder sometimes how I lived through all of it. And so many of these guys are going, you know. You have some of them guys so young, you know.
no, it's really hard, really tragic.
But you gotta take it with this. Just take it. That's all. It's I have people ask me, how do you make it all this time through all that stuff? I said, you just gotta be tough and make it. And my son, they said, you're the toughest person I ever know. Because he remember, he told me, he says, I can still see you going over in a big transmission from a big old V8, weigh about 200 pounds, take it out of the trunk and take it, put it down there in the crawl underneath the car, pick it up and put it in the transmission. He says, I've seen you do that. I can't do it anymore. But of course, I was young then yet. Yeah, so that I took up. When the colonel come out one day, they said he wanted boxers. He wanted people to take up boxing. So I volunteered for it. And a captain comes up and he said, "Are you sure you want?" I said, "Yes, I want to go." So I went, took that training, and I made it. And some of the other guys didn't make it. They went back in the company. And I was in the boxing. I was in the boxing.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was just different from other people did. But my mother told me when I told her I'd taken that, she said, "You better get out of that before you get hurt." That's what she wrote in the letters. I could get hurt, but I stayed in there. I say old soldiers never die; they just fade away. Huh?
Yeah.
MacArthur.
That's true. Yeah,
I
that's
got
right.
to serve
He did say
under.
that.
I got to serve under them 4-star generals, 2 of them.
Yeah.
With 5-star generals. There's a General MacArthur.
Right.
But I was on the first with General Eisenhower.
Right.
And I went through the book with him, talked to him. And then when I got to Korea, why they said the Germans coming down, and the captain said, "You take care of it." So I'm waiting for the plane to land. General MacArthur.
Is that right?
And he come walking past me, and I saluted him. He saluted me back. You're not supposed to salute out in the field because they see if an officer didn't get shot, you know.
Right.
So and then he went into the tent with the other generals and the colonels, and then he come walking out, and I saluted him, and he said, "Have a good one." He got in the plane and took off.
Yeah, and from there, as he left Korea, that's pretty much when he got whatever.
I didn't know who. They said it was a man coming in, but it was General MacArthur, and he loaded me right back and everything. Anyhow, so I got to sleep with 2 5-star generals.
No, that's remarkable.
They don't have no 5 stars anymore.
They don't. That's for sure. That's
no.
Well, that's I'm kind of a little awestruck in some ways by your career and your experience and all that. How long were you in Korea? How many?
27 years in the military.
No, I know, but in Korea, how long were you there?
Oh, in Korea? Gee, I don't remember. I was 50 and 51.
Yeah.
During the fighting time.
Right. I don't remember, like in Vietnam, they were just 12, 13-month tours, for the most part.
Well, they said, your time's coming up and you're going to go to...
Rotate you, yeah.
But I said, no, I'm not going there.
Yeah.
I said, I'll retire. So And I took
So, so about your later years here, what did you do after you got out of the Army then? After you retired?
I went to a couple more schools then, and then I finally ended up in '61. I got married. Then my whole life was changed because I was about 30 years old.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
And so I had to learn somebody else in charge besides me. Yeah. So, but she's a good woman, boy. She's a good wife. And
yeah.
she got tired. You know, when she was 90 when she passed away.
Is that right? Yeah.
She was 90 years old. I told her she had to live as long as I could, but she said, no, she got tired. And that's his mother. She's gone now, but that's because it'll be 3 years in January.
Really? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. It's tough to lose a partner like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I go out there every morning. I said, go every day. Yeah, I say I go out there every morning and walk in. Just keeps my legs going.
Right.
So I go up and park on the hill and walk down through the cemetery. That's the Pikes Peak National Cemetery.
Where is it that you make your home now? Are you in?
I've been in the same house for 46 years.
Is that right?
Yeah,
You're down in Colorado in the Springs?
in Whiteville. It's where I can hear the bugle playing in the morning from Fort Carson.
Really? No.
Yeah, right out there in Whiteville and Security and Fountain. So I'm stuck between Fountain and Security. Same house, 46. But we moved in there in '76 yet.
Really? Yeah. Well, home.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Oh,
for you,
yeah.
for sure.
No
Did you have any occupations after you got after you retired?
That was just a little bit of fishing. I got that.
Really? Oh, really? So
Oh,
you
yeah.
retired then
Oh, yeah.
after 27
Just a
years.
fishing. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's good. So were you,
Fishing, yeah.
yeah, did you and your wife have a chance to travel at all?
Well, we traveled up to Alaska. We spent 3 years in Alaska, and we come back to Huntsville, Alabama, and retired, and then came out here.
Well, that must have been kind of quite a transition from Alaska to Huntsville, Alabama there now,
Yeah.
weather-wise.
Well, yeah, I had been stationed down in South. I had Camp Wheeler, Georgia. I had my basic training.
Yeah.
Camp Wheeler, Georgia. And it's Robbins Air Force Base now. Yeah.
Yeah. So were you assigned mostly stateside here when you were at?
Most of the time, they sent me. I don't know where. They sent me all the way out to the state out here with I can't think of the name of it. But they sent me to school out there, and went to that school. Then I went back to my unit.
Okay. Would you ever get back to Germany?
'61 was the last time I was in Germany.
Okay.
I was there in 1944.
Right. No, I know that. I didn't know if you were ever assigned.
No, I kind of liked it in there, and the wife liked it there. And then we transferred us down to Italy.
Yeah. Into Italy. Yeah.
And then spent that time down there, and then finally retire. And I'm tired.
By that time, I'm sure. So what do you think about your, how has your military service affected your life?
Oh man, that's hard to say because I was just a kid out there, 17, 18 years old, breathed out in the country. I had about a mile to walk to school.
Right.
And I worked on the farm. Farmer that we rented the house from, he had a big farm, and you had about 20 milk cows. He had milking cows, he had 20, 30 head of steers I raised, and they had a bunch of pigs and chickens. His wife took care of the chickens, and she called me to take care of some of the things. I gave them water and stuff, and she took the eggs. Then Ada Hagee, her name was.
Okay.
Raymond J. Hagee was the guy that was, and we rented that place for him, and I went to the school, the same school for 7 years.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Had the same teacher, Elizabeth Algerberger. That was her name, Miss Algerberger.
Really? Oh.
And her sister, Alice, went up 10 miles up the road to Palmer, not Palmer, but Campbelltown, I guess, but that's where her sister was a teacher like her. She took us all 8 grades. I don't know anybody failed. When you had to go into the high school, you had to go in and take a test.
Yeah.
And I don't know, everybody passed. She was a good
Sure.
teacher.
So this is back in the 30s or so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So obviously you went through the Depression as well then, right?
Oh, yeah. I remember them days. You're lucky to eat once a day.
No. No. Well, you're fortunate to have been raised in the country and being
Yeah.
around that. Then,
Yeah,
right?
that's where when we left the city there, we moved into the country. We got that little place there.
Yeah.
And it's a big house. And it was, you could say, figure that, I forget how many rooms there, but it was $7 a month rent.
Really?
And we had all that land. We had a land, refrigerator garden, had a garage, and a chicken house and everything. And $7 a month.
That's incredible.
Ain't that, you don't believe it, but it's true.
No, I do believe that.
Yeah. Because I remember a nickel, man. If you had a nickel, man, you're rich.
So let's see, how many were in your family? Did you have brothers and sisters?
It's just my brother and my sister and I.
Okay,
Just
the three of
the
you.
3 of us.
Were you the oldest one, or?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of
Yeah.
figured that much. Yeah.
I was it.
Yeah. And are they still around? Or are they still?
No,
living?
they're all gone.
You're the last of it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The oldest one, there. Yeah, my sister, she's, I guess she was close to 90 when she passed away, 88 or something
Really?
like that.
Good
Yeah.
long-lived people, good genes
Yeah,
there.
because she had 5 children too, so.
Yeah, that's remarkable. That's like,
David,
yeah.
could we quickly go through some of these?
Sure, absolutely.
And Ed, when you show off these pictures, hold it towards the center of the camera, so between you and David.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to start with?
Well, that's the book I'm in right there.
So you want to hold this up, David?
It's called
Yeah, why don't we show the cover here? Let's.
See?
How about can we do that?
see, that's the
You got that? And then this is Ed. This is a bit of his history there.
So have it hold it like this. So more right there. Even higher.
You up higher? You got it?
Yep.
Okay. Well.
And
this is
Thank you. I didn't. Thank
one of
you.
my things here.
Oh, let's talk about that. Yeah.
This is the
I think if you can leave them there, probably, Ed. It's like,
this is
can you hold that up?
when
You can straighten that up here. Point it right at the camera.
that's
hold it just a little bit higher and a little bit more.
I got the ribbon.
Yeah.
That's when I got one of the bronze stars.
That's incredible. So, you're a master sergeant.
Yeah.
Forgive me for calling you Sergeant First Class.
This is nuts. Anyhow, that's this is when I got an award there.
If you hold that up here.
That colonel has passed away now.
Got it? Okay.
Yeah, he was quite a character.
Well,
Yeah, he's a colonel. This is colonel. He was the
you can hold that up again.
commander of Peterson Air Force Base. This was and that's some of their veterans. And that's when we had a birthday. I think it was a birthday or something.
Yep. So this was your wife then?
Yes.
Good-looking woman. And you, sir?
Yeah. So there's
Tough old bird.
that's in Germany there.
Okay. Good.
And this is when my wife and I back here. We're back here in this room. That's at the Air Force Academy.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And that's when I was a little younger there.
Yeah.
So with this photo, David, I really wanted him to take it out.
Yeah, no, I think that's great.
Show it off like this.
Yeah, that's,
This would be a good thumbnail.
yeah, if you would, let's bring it right over here. Here we go. Okay,
This one brings this
bring it forward.
a little more, and then tilt it down just a little bit. So there's no perfect.
So how old do you think we were there?
Well, let's see. That was 54. Something. 54, I guess. Wasn't it?
That was 1954. Wow,
Yeah,
wow,
yes.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
So you made rank pretty well over there, didn't you?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, and you held that rank for a good
Yeah.
long time.
They wanted me to go to school and go higher, and I said I was good enough.
Didn't care. Yeah.
This is basic training, Camp Wheeler, Georgia, 1943. That was 1943, and this is us. So there we are there. There's my wife and I.
Yeah.
And this is the Rocky Mountain chapter as a commander. I was in for 32 years. I had 15 years as a commander.
Is that right?
Yeah. They kept voting me in. That old chief says, "You're going to be permanent." I said, "No, no, no."
Yeah.
And that's the commander. He was a commander of Fort Carson.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Fort Carson.
Fort Carson commander.
Yeah.
Old colonel. And that's me. Then
You get it? Yeah. Geez, you had just looking at all your stripes here, you know, you got a lot of time overseas there as well.
Yeah.
Huh? Like, yeah.
this is a colonel. He's the last colonel, but I was with that Peterson Air Force Base.
Okay.
No, he was a Stryver Air Force Base.
God, he looks like a kid, doesn't he? Just a
Yeah,
young guy.
Yeah, my son says, "Are you sure he's a colonel?" I said, "Yeah, he looks like a kid yet." And that's
Probably.
the Battle of the Bulge.
Yeah, there you go.
Battle of the Bulge.
70th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. That's incredible.
This was when my mother got that telegram.
This is a really important document right here. Go ahead, I got that, I'll hold it.
Yeah.
You have that? It says the
That's
Secretary of War desires me to express his deep regret that your son, Private First Class Edwin Beck, has been reported missing in action since 16 December in Germany. If further details or other information are received, you will be promptly notified. Acting Dunlops, the acting adjutant general. Wow. January 11th, 1946. That's like
Yeah, that's
that. Yeah.
there's different ones about 20,000 and everything.
No, that's amazing. Amazing.
I'm the last one standing there.
The last one standing.
Yet all the rest of them are going.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Last man standing. That's like
Yep. I'm in the end. I think. Yeah, I'm right here.
yeah.
Yeah. All of us have passed away. There's only from colonel down to lieutenants. Yeah. He's a colonel,
Yeah.
and he's the other colonel. The other colonel.
So this was your old outfit?
Yeah, this was ex-prisoner of war.
Okay.
He was 96 and he got captured way back in with when they were fighting with the Dutch. When the Dutch surrendered, their battalion was with them, and they had to surrender too. And that was him, and that's down at Park.
Okay. And here you go.
This was my.
All these medals and awards. Yeah. Master Sergeant Beck.
Here's when we were at the POW ceremony.
That's an amazing picture too, huh?
And this is one of my bronze stars here.
Here you go. This is a Bronze Star Award. POW Certificate of Appreciation. Well,
This old colonel here is in the Peterson Air Force Base.
yeah, yeah.
And he's captured a week before I was. He was a prisoner before I was.
Huh.
And that's one of the meetings there. And that's in Korea.
Okay, let's get a shot of this one. This is
That's in Korea. I had worked.
yeah, staff sergeant at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh, that's amazing. Yeah. Huh.
This one is the
Certificate.
certificate of training. And then on the other side there is his.
Now these are some great mementos here that you've got here. Like and then this one right here is
Yeah. This is my brother and myself. And for the Air Force, used to wear the same uniform, you know?
yeah.
And he was in the Air Force, and I think that's taken in Korea.
How much older were you than your brother?
4 years.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Got it. So this was during World War II or after?
That's after the war.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's like
This is this was as a guest speaker there.
that's
And
great.
here's
There you go. You take that.
yeah.
And this one, and then there's the guest speaker right here. Yeah, that's a great shot of you right here.
There you go, coming apart.
Yeah, yeah.
And this is a
Okay.
picture here.
I'll get it.
Again, it's shows that I was standing there, and that's the way they put us in the boxcars like that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then she's a sergeant major now.
Okay.
She's in the Air Force.
Huh.
And
Who is that now?
He's a retired officer,
Okay.
and that's my fate.
There you go. Put the boxcar there.
And this was when
The ex-POWs.
this is my certificate of recognition, and this one the appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, yes.
And another certificate of appreciation.
And there's a Major Omelette. He was in the service when he was about 14 years old, and he was overseas already when he was 15 already. And there's a major, here's a colonel, and then there was a sergeant from the Air Force.
Yeah. Let's take those here.
That's right, all of them.
There's a classic picture, World War II.
And that's my high school picture there.
That's so great.
That's when.
So this is you had actually. This is after you got out of the Army in World War II and went back and finished high school.
I got out long enough to go to high school. I finished my high school.
That's incredible that you would do that.
Yeah.
You know, that's like yeah. Yeah. Well.
And this is me, my old colonel friend here. He's a chopper pilot.
Is that right? Yeah.
He was a chopper pilot in World War II, and then Korea, and then in Vietnam.
That's incredible. It's like yeah. Plus he's got a CIB there too, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in the service a long time.
Yeah, I'll bet. Well, you've certainly known a lot of pretty amazing individuals there.
And
Huh?
this is a picture of me down at the park. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
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 And that's me. That was the last meeting I had because the secretary, where she at, anyhow, she says, we have to quit. I said, why? She said, I got cancer. I said, oh, hell. So but up until then, we were the chapter down here. And I was the commander for 16 of the 32 years.
Wow.
I spent 32 years in it. And they kept voting me in. But I remember that the war officer says, we're going to make you permanent. I said, you're shit too.
30 years is
Yeah, that's
plenty.
That's in there.
Well,
That's Memorial Park. Yeah.
well, there we go.
And then last one.
Yeah, that's my wife there.
Huh?
That's her death certificate. That's her there.
Is that right? Let's get this. This is a beautiful shot. And then mother. Huh? She was lovely, huh?
Yeah.
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 And David, can we go through these medals? Like the big medals. Right.
Well, oh, let's talk about this, Ed. Exactly, the one that you've got around your neck here.
Oh.
Tell us about this guy. Can you?
One side's different than that's because I started so long.
And what is this one right there? Oh,
Could you read what's on the? What's
It's
this is a POW medal,
yeah,
POW MIA,
yeah,
and yeah, for Vietnam, primarily
Yep.
Korea, World
Yep.
War II, all of them. Yeah.
yeah,
show it to
yeah.
us?
That's one that's
Yeah.
POWMI.
Right, right. Can we hold that up and get a good shot of that there? Well, how about this one right here then that you've got right here?
That's the combat the oh dear.
Like a presidential citation there?
That's the
Unit?
POW.
Well, oh, really? Okay.
POWMIA.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's what that is.
Well,
And then maybe these patches.
couldn't even see that. That's like, yeah. Look at that. An expert with the, what was it, M14, M1, and
Yeah.
45?
Yeah, this is
No, let's,
yeah. It just shows that I got the reward. This is I got a pretty big one of that. They made it for me. Defense resolution.
and the lighter. Let's talk about the
Oh,
lighter.
yeah.
You definitely want to show that too. You can bring it up there.
And it's also engraved in the back.
Yeah, let's read the back of it here. It's like he was honored graduate.
Yeah, I was undergraduate missile system. Persian.
Well,
Right. So because of time, maybe I should just go through the conclusion questions.
I think, okay, do you want to wrap it up here then? Yeah, I think so too.
David, lean a little to the right.
Yeah, excuse me. It's like, what are some of the life lessons that you learned from the military?
Trumped and be trumped and then know everything right and do things right and never give up. Never surrender.
Never surrender. There anything you miss about being in the service?
Oh yeah, I remember the wife said, we can do so and so. I said, we're retired, we're not in that anymore. You can't do things like you do in your service.
Sure.
Because I was always top of the king in there. They always just pin them, get Sergeant Beck, get Sergeant Beck. And it's so hard.
Can-do kind of guy. Or...
Yeah, I always tried to do everything right. And I don't know. I just keep on going. As long as the man upstairs let me go.
Um, so what do you wish more people knew about veterans or military service?
The hell to go through. When like it comes to Christmas or something like that, you might be out in the battlefield instead of being out
Sure.
in the different like that there. So people don't realize that when you're in the military, you're going and going all the time. You're never free, or you're under orders all the time.
What would you like people to remember from your journey? What kind of legacy would you like to leave?
If I had to do it over, I'd probably do the same thing. I'd stay with this military because I'm just a born soldier, I guess.
Well, is there any message that you'd like to leave for future generations who will view this video?
I would say that's you all be truthful and take care of everything, and be aware of your friends, and always be ready to help others.
That's good. So is there anything else that you would like to add that we've not covered in this interview?
No, I'm just proud and glad that I served my country, and I'd do it all over again if I had to, because born free, you know. Like you gotta be a certain person to stay with it. Some people give up. Some people just lay down and die. That's all.
You certainly know that firsthand, sir. Master Sergeant Edwin Beck, it's an honor and a privilege to have met you.
Thank you.
Thanks for this interview. I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, sir.
Hope I did okay.
You did great. Sure.
Gotta make it to February. You said that they had a big
You're going to do
celebration.
it. I can see that. You know?
100 years old, man. I can't believe. I started only thinking about it the other day. I said, I'm 99 years old, man. I've been in this war 99 years.
That's incredible.